COVID brought the world to a standstill, or at least almost standstill, and particularly the tourism industry. We know that it was one of the badly hit sectors because people couldn't travel and people couldn't move. But I would say that it's important that we continue to look to the future, and that's one of the skills we have as human beings. We're always hopeful and looking to the future. We have seen that domestic tourism has become almost an opportunity that people have started to see as one area to develop, and that's something to be hopeful about. I am quite excited about what domestic tourism development will mean for Nigeria and also what it will mean for West Africa. And so in that regard, I would say the future is exciting. COVID-19 was devastating for Africa, particularly for our creative and tourism sector, because if you look at what has happened around the world, the sector was the most badly affected, but also in Africa where we have little to no safety nets. What that means is that for the MSMEs that are operating here, it was going from a position where you had a lot of planned trips, a lot of planned engagements to zero, right? And so that in itself was a huge shock. But I'm happy because what we were able to do, or what I was able to do, was I was part of the COVID-19 committee that was set up by the Lagos state government, and we were able to then also look at what we can do for the sector, speaking to agents and entrepreneurs in the sector to see what are their issues, what are their pain points, and how can we create some sort of support for the sector. And as part of that committee, which was chaired by Joke Silva, I'm very happy that we were able to release 2 billion naira to some of the micro, small and medium-sized enterprises in Lagos. COVID did lead to a decline in arrivals of 40%, right, for West Africa, and that had a lot of ripple effect in terms of on various points across the tourism system. But then the key thing that I think we need to also focus on is data to guide decision making. We need to start to know what are the actual numbers that we want in destinations, what are the actual numbers that can come, and how do we plan for that. So I would say that some of what we're saying in terms of the decline was really more of an estimate. I would say that the numbers were even more harsher than that. And so we need to also start to say, how do we start to collect better quality data? Right, in terms of the efforts at recovery, there have been quite a number of efforts, particularly in the hospitality sector and the aviation sector of the tourism industry. So I would say there has been a lot of pivoting for hospitality facilities that are looking to provide more better at-home services. So for example, for the restaurants, as well as for the hotels, they're looking at how they can upskill workplace solutions to focus on more domestic businesses and also more domestic activity. And I would say that in terms of the efforts, one thing that we need to focus on now is our destination development as well as our destination management. Because if we're having the hospitality sector, if we're having the aviation sector, how do we also ensure that within Nigeria, within West Africa, there are more places that people can go that have good quality that can give them great visitor experiences? The West Africa Tourism Roundtable Series was started in 2021, and this has been something that I've been thinking about for about 2 to 3 years, because it's important that we have a platform for leaders, so tourism leaders in West Africa, to share, to learn, to look at how we can create solutions to the similar challenges that we face, but also how we can harness the various opportunities that we can see. And so the idea is that we create a roundtable session in a hybrid format, physical and virtual for those in other countries, so that we are able to then provide speakers that can talk to key points and also then have roundtable sessions that can deliberate on it, together with a communique that is released after the roundtable sessions that goes to various tourism boards across the West Africa region. And it's hopefully, the idea is that this would lead to an elevated industry. It will start to show how serious the tourism economy can be, and will also start to identify the stronger players that are able to really make the difference that we see. There are quite a number of conferences and events, and sometimes you can even say that, aren't we all zoomed out now, particularly with COVID and all of us working, most of us working from home. But then we have to start something, and it's always better to start than not to start. And so what we decided in 2021 was that we're just going to start anyway. And it's not a conference, right? It's not a conference. It's not really meant to be a conference. It's roundtable sessions. So it's meant to be small, intimate events focused on themes that tourism leaders across the West Africa region can think about, can deliberate on, can come up with solutions to. And our key focus is to say we want to expand the leisure economy, we want to expand the tourism economy, and the overall aim is that how can we improve the quality of life when more people can enjoy leisure activities and recreational activities, but also how do we sustain livelihoods in urban and rural areas across West Africa. And so I feel like because there isn't a platform to talk about that, creating this platform and having this platform is a strong contribution to hopefully coming up with some change, and also to hopefully providing the space for tourism to receive the focus that it deserves. One key thing is that it is important to professionalize our sector. It's important to show that there are serious professionals working in the sector. And one of the impacts from the West Africa Tourism Roundtable is this opportunity to collaborate, to network, and to do good work. And we've already seen some impact. In already just one session that we had in March, we've been able to identify, or rather we've had 3 different people come to us to talk about projects that they had secured from attending this roundtable session. We have also been able to set up a public sector engagement committee that is going to work with the ministry in Lagos, who have said that they are open to working with us and they're happy to have this platform where we can work together with practice, with private sector, where we can hopefully provide ideas to challenges and they can also share with us what they're doing. So more dialogue. Another key impact that we hope to have is that we want to have stronger engagement with the public sector, which is a key need that we know, but we also want to have stronger contributions to capacity building and tourism development. And that came from this second session that we've just finished today, where people have shown interest in facilitating, in training, and also in creating platforms that can then be used for tourism capacity building and education. So I think the impact is quite immense to go forward, and we've only just started. There's a lot of work to do, but we're ready for it. We've also had someone share that they have a magazine that they're going to facilitate contributors that have attended the roundtables to share. We've had other people also invite practitioners to come and address some of the solutions they are needing to solve, for example, destination development. So I would say it's creating that space for serious conversation geared towards solutions. You know, and I'll just say this, you know, when you asked me that question, I thought about it and it was a serious question. And to be honest, at the moment, we have seen the need for a platform and we'll continue with that platform until we see that we do not need it. What we do know is that it's not meant to just be in Lagos, it's meant to move around. The idea is that we have roundtable sessions across different places in West Africa, across cities. So the idea and hope is that come 2022, COVID permitting, we'll be able to have the West Africa Tourism Roundtable Series in Accra, in Dakar, in Abidjan, and various other countries within West Africa.